I don't know about you, but this ground to me sums up what rugby league is all about. It's one of the most famous venues in the world, and today it's the setting for an historic announcement, and it's live on the Super League show. Coming up, Leeds reveal their playoff pick. Will they choose the winners of Huddersfield versus Catalan? Or the victors of Hull KR and Wigan? Hello and welcome to a very special edition of the Super League show. We're live from the Headingley Carnegie Stadium. But I'm sorry to say we have to start with some really sad news for rugby league fans everywhere, with the news that one of the greats of the game, John Holmes, died this weekend. He was just a lovely guy and made 625 appearances for Leeds in his 21-year career with them. We'll reflect on his life a little later on. And it's pretty certain John would have been excited about what's going to happen here in the next 20 minutes or so. The Leeds Rhinos will become the first team to pick their opponents in what's being called the club call system. Well, I'm delighted to say I'm joined by the Wakefield Wildcats coach John Keir and the new Wales coach Iestyn Harris. We'll hear from the guys a little later. But first, let's speak to Tanya Arnold, who can give us a little more information on what's happening today. Tanya.
Well, we're here in the room where it's all going to be happening, Harry. It'll be up on that platform over there. Gary Hetherington and Brian McLennan will be up there from the Leeds Rhinos. They'll also have representatives from the two teams that could be the ones that are picked. And I have to say, there's quite an atmosphere in here. Well, with me is Chris Irvin from the Times. Chris, are you a fan of this?
I don't know, Tanny, if we're at X Factor or Strictly Come Dancing here this lunchtime. I'm not a huge fan of it. I think this is a lottery. It's been described as a gimmick, and I'd agree with that. I'm not quite sure what we're doing here, but we're here now. We've got to go ahead with it, and there's plenty of excitement being generated.
If it's a gimmick, it's certainly got people talking. There's a lot of media interest, isn't there, in this?
I think there is. I mean, a lot of people, Brian Noble, the Wigan coach, has described it as a kind of media kind of thing, which maybe it is. There is a lot of interest. There's a lot of interest to see how this goes. We're not quite sure if it's unique to British sport. We think that maybe Speedway did something like this before, but it's certainly new to a major sport in this country. I don't know if others are going to be following, but I know there's a lot of people watching here today to see just how it goes.
Possibly not the hardest question I've asked you, but which way do you think they're going to pick?
Oh, I think it is a hard question, Tanya. I think it's a hard question. Leeds probably should pick Wigan because that's maybe who they should play. Do they pick Catalans? It might be seen as an easier option. I don't know. Would you send Wigan to go and have a great, bashathon against Saints and a great derby next Saturday? I don't know. I've got a feeling they might pick Catalans. Talking to the Catalans representatives, they expect to be here on Friday.
Do you think we'll be here again this time next year?
I think we will. I think this is not going to go away. What I would like to see is, instead of having choice of the two preliminary semi-final winners, that we maybe have the other club in there so that Leeds could have a choice of playing Saints. I think that would maybe just add to the novelty factor, and I think it just might spice it up a little bit more.
Chris, thanks very much indeed for joining us. Well, the tension is mounting, Harry. What we'll know in about 15 minutes' time.
Thanks, Tanya. Good that you've found Chris, who's sitting on the fence as usual. More from the press conference a little later on. But before we get into the games, a quick word on the pick. We were talking about it making it very exciting, John. Is it excitement, or is it, as Chris said, media hype?
I think it's a masterstroke. I've been on a coaching course, and there's been coaches from other sports there, and they might not understand the game of rugby league to the nth degree, but they've all been speaking about this playoff pick and asking all about it. So the interest is absolutely phenomenal. So whoever thought the idea, spot on, and I really think Leeds will have considered this in great detail.
We'll talk about that side of it a little later on. Just talking about the sort of concept of the idea, Iestyn. Do you think it's a good idea?
I think it's a really good idea. If you remember, it was only 11 years ago that we decided to go to a grand final at Old Trafford, and everybody at that time said, no, that's not rugby league's all about. If you finish top of the pile, that should be you who wins the competition. Since then, the game's gone from strength to strength with it, and I think it's another fantastic idea, and the media that we've had this week has been great for the game of rugby league.
And that's the point, isn't it? We're getting more inches space in the newspapers, which we need.
I think it's been very easy for rugby league to generate column inches, generate interest on TV, on the radio, and obviously you do require that when you're a major sport, and it's been a very novel and a very interesting concept, and I think the best is yet to come.
OK, more from the guys later. We'll take a look at our first game now and see who made it through to today's club call. Last night, Wigan travelled to Craven Park to face Hull KR. Dave Woods and John Keir have the commentary.
Grand entrance with a grand final possibly 2 weeks away for one of these sides. It is only a possible. Craven Park in the sunshine, but the lights go out for one of either of these two teams tonight. It's sudden death, a place in the semi-finals at stake. A little kick through again, just trying to time it and wait it, but Fox with a take. But Tompkins, look how well he's got up there. Terrific play by the Wigan youngster.
And kick chase at the minute is really Wigan's forte. Sean O'Loughlin's earlier on, but then a superb kick chase there from Tompkins.
Here's Luluai now. Cries of a forward pass to Prescott again, but the referee doesn't give it this time.
Well, I'll tell you where they're coming. They're going to look at Michael Dobson.
Riddell, here's Luluai, quick hands to Phelps, it's opening up here. Carmel will score with a stretch and the lunge.
Very clinical how Wigan executed this. Dobson out of the line, quick hands, and that just bought Carman enough space to crash over in the corner.
It's Phelps, fullback who's up at dummy half, Hadfield to his left, tried to go himself, thought about the offload but takes it. And it's going to be another penalty. Vella, the man responsible for holding down. Richards has the chance to put over his first goal of the early evening. He has done so with some success here, and it stretches Wigan's lead to 6 points to 0. Options on the inside, try to work his way through himself. McAlorum, O'Loughlin, Fielden, now Palliasina out of one, and surging. Has he got it over? No, he hasn't. The referee is confident in his own sighting, but he was held up.
The referee was in great position as well to see that, and you've got to think he's got that right.
Still a chance for Wigan though, because there are two tackles left up their sleeves. Luluai, quick hands from Carmon. Gleeson equally swift with the handling to this left-hand side, and Richards, who has to go back on the inside. Now Carmont again, almost picked away through that Rovers defence. McAlorum, back to Luluai. Luluai's kick, high and hanging, up they go. Down it comes, it's Fox who's going to get there, is it? No, he isn't. It's Joel Tompkins, it's back to one. Wigan are desperately trying to keep it alive. Phelps goes down with it, but it's another 6 tackles here.
And my word, they're under the cosh now.
Looked as though they might have been offside there. They were. Jason Netherton came flying out of the line.
Will he take the 2 points, Dave, and just nudge themselves further ahead on the scoreboard?
Well, the referee's just asking here. But they have got Hull Kingston Rovers under the cosh as well, haven't they? Have they decided to go for the 6? Palliasina! Oh my word! Absolutely unstoppable! That's what he's good at! Sensational! Ripped right through that Rovers defence. Here comes Carmont, now Tompkins, Sam Tompkins, behind the line to Phelps. Phelps twisting in. Hull Kingston Rovers defence working well. 2 tackles to come. McLaurin. Sam Tompkins shuffles it along to Coley. Now Luluai. Right across the line they come. O'Loughlin with a quick hands to Richards. Richards on the inside. What a try! There were 2 there to greet him, and neither could stop him. And Wigan have their third, and already find themselves in such a position of ascendancy. You wonder if they can be stopped. They're looking for some big surge, big run, big hit. Trying to take them downfield. Still Dobson limps. He's still a worry. Newton, good hands to Webster, who's found the gap, and off he goes. Webster's through. Support right and left. Throws it on the inside. Here's Fitzhenry, dragged down by Gleeson, who covered a lot of yards to get back there. 1 tackle left. Hull Kingston Rovers with the momentum. Wide it comes to Cook. Cook now throws it further. Wellham must surely score, and does. Game on.
Lovely pass from Cook, and a very brave effort. Steps inside.
Video referee is Ian Smith. Decision made, and up it comes. Try. Finally, Craven Park has something to find its voice over. Hull Kingston Rovers might just have got a fingertip back on the game. He's given them half a chance here, Cook. Back inside for Newton. Newton had his ankles grasped at, so off it goes to Dobson, and then Galea, and then Wellham, and then wider still to Fox. What a try! What a score! Right round the outside, and Peter Fox, swift as you like, and Hull Kingston Rovers are making a battle of it now. Back to the middle again, Cook, here's Dobson. Dobson along the line, Vella now tries to straighten it up. You can see there that Sean Briscoe with a bandage is back on the field. Here's Dobson again, Dobson throws it wide, it was missed, and here it comes, it's a reach! Has he got there, Hansen?
Lovely pass there, a misread by one of the Wigan defenders, but this is it. Is the grounding okay?
Well, I think he's short, isn't he?
No,
he's on the line.
That's a try.
Gleeson. Working as an extra forward at the moment. He's trying to pound it down the middle. Riddell again in sharp dummy half. Quick flat ball as well. But Lachlan carries it on. This is a good set from Wigan. 4 tackles, ball stolen, penalty for Wigan. Well, interestingly, Pat Richards has put the kick out 5 yards away from the Rovers line. Here comes Coley with the initial drive.
But Palliacina's gone off, Dave.
Breathe in, 1, you go.
Here's Riddell, Tompkins, and now Gleeson! Oh, Briscoe just got his body in the way, but Gleeson's claiming he's got it down. It was a try, confirmation of what he believed, and Wigan back in control. Oh, and Gleeson pops in, that's it. No doubts now, he deserves that, Martin Gleeson. For the way he's performed in the second half, congratulations for Brian Noble and his backroom staff. As the hooter sounds, it has been a fantastic performance by Wigan tonight. Take nothing away from them. They bossed the first half, weathered the storm in the second, and came back strong. And they are in the semi-finals. Hull Kingston Rovers 16, Wigan 30.
I'll tell you something, John, Brian Noble's making a bit of a statement there at the moment, isn't he?
He's making a massive statement. He's taken the Wigan Warriors to within 80 minutes of Wembley. They got to the semi-finals of the Challenge Cup, and obviously they're at least 80 minutes away from Old Trafford, so I think he's had a fair old season. When
you look at that first half performance yesterday, that was it, wasn't it? That won it, even though Hull KR did so well to come back.
It's so important in playoffs to get off to a good start and get in front on the scoreboard, make the opposition chase their tail right the way through the game, and they've done that twice now. They did it last week against Castleford, and they did it there against Hull KR again. And really, if you get into a position where you're 18 points up, the opposition have just got to push that pass, try and chase the game, get back into it, and they make mistakes. And we're going to so quick, aren't they, around the ruck, and they make it dangerous. Gleeson with his footwork, Palliacina coming on with crash balls.
Let's talk about Palliacina. How do you guys rate him in terms of all the rest of the greats in Super League at the moment?
Well, he is the massive impact man of Super League. He only plays between 25 and 30 minutes a game, but my word, when he comes on, if Wigan have got the welter of possession, he causes you all sorts of positions simply because at times he's run so well. He's such a big man, he's such a powerful man, and you have to have 3 or 4 men regularly in defending against him.
You just look here now, he gets the ball and pushes 2 or 3. There's no other player in Super League can do that. If you've got Palliacina in your team and you're in a playoff game and he's on the field and fresh, you've got a chance in any game they play. So they're a dangerous team now, Wigan, going into the pitch.
I know Wigan will fancy their chances. We'll have more from the guys a little later on, but on Friday night, of course, Huddersfield and Catalan met at the Galpharm. Now, the Giants finished 3rd and Catalans were 8th. Would this one go to form? Ray French and Jonathan Davies have the commentary.
Well, we'll have a look at the tackles that Huddersfield put in as the game progresses. The best defensive record in the Super League.
I think they've been very successful, Ray, you know, slowing down, peeling people off. Someone's hurt there, he's got the hip bone on the side of the head. He's got his head in the wrong place.
Man down, leave him, wait.
Good round of applause for Jamal Lolisi. I think he was quite keen to stay on, but the doctor and the medical staff having the right say. Good strong surge, but again good tackling.
Move!
Huddersfield coming in 2s and 3s.
Hold!
Oh, there's a gap there.
Danny!
Thought Maguire was going to go. That's a good ball. Here's a chance. He's going for the line himself. Has he got it down?
I think
he might have it down.
Doesn't get it down the first time.
Oh, I think Green Shields has it down.
That's a try.
4 points to the Catalan Dragons. They withstood all the early pressure.
1. Surrender! Stand up! 2.
Needs good running.
Good defence.
Terrific defence. Pello not right back out of his stride. That's a good run.
A great run. If he goes to ground.
Oh, he's in touch.
Fred Hodgson to break this Catalan Dragons defence.
Hodgson at the acting half-back to Robinson. Oh, the little gas! Here's a man! Little sidestep again! Beautiful goal! He's over! Well, I said Huddersfield were not offering much other than charges down the middle. And the little man himself, Luke Robinson, went down the middle. 2 superb sidesteps. Terrific try, if he can get that ball down.
Yeah, try. He went down the first time.
Yes, he does. Good little kick over the top. Oh, Greenshield takes it. Has he got anybody with him?
He'll
He's
score.
not. Can he go all the way? I think he can. Oh, tremendous anticipation from the fullback.
On the left-hand side, as Hodgson comes in.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Does he hold him back? Would he have got to him?
I think it might not be a try.
Right, I'll go.
No try. Yep.
Play on.
Maguire, good play.
2.
If anyone's going to do anything for the Catalan Dragons, it seems to me as Maguire could be the man. Now then, this is better. Good tackling.
Great tackle.
Go.
Robinson around the legs there. There's room on the outside. Pello, can he get in? Oh, has he got it down?
That is a great finish.
Did he get it down with his right hand? That's a try.
What a great finish.
Oh, tremendous finish. Bale, back to Greenshields, looking for support. Greg Bird keeps it going. Oh, here's a chance, and that's a try, and Oliver Lima goes in for his 19th try of the season.
Bird gives it wide, and then you got Greenshields on the inside there. Cut the defence, keeps the ball alive. Out again to Bosch, another inside runner, and Lima's there.
Look at the delight on that man's face when that try went in, and just look at the difference there.
Chalk and cheese.
Well, that means we're up to date on who Leeds have to pick, and it looks like they're underway upstairs as Leeds get ready to announce their choice. Here we go. Well, you're waiting at the moment for, I think, waiting to hear from us to tell them that we're just about ready. You can see good old Eddie Hemmings there on the right, well known, of course, from associated with Sky, and on the front there, well, a couple
Thank
of
you. Welcome
people
indeed to the Lewis Jones Suite here at the Headingley Carnegie Stadium, home of the Engage Super League champions, the Leeds Rhinos. In February, 14 teams stood at the gate. They all had hopes of being in the grand final in 2 weeks' time. We whittled that down to 8 a fortnight ago, and this last weekend we are down to the final 4. The champions Leeds, St Helens, Wigan, and the dark horses of 2009, the Catalan Dragons, who finished 8th after the weekly rounds. We have representatives of all 4 clubs with us here, plus we are joined by supporters in the audience of all 4 clubs. I thought they might have told you they were here, but obviously they're a bit quiet. Well, it is an innovative process, this, and it's, well, there is no other sport that I know of that allows its team to choose who they play in a semi-final for the right to get through to the biggest night of the year. It's been controversial, what in rugby league isn't, but there has been so much speculation about who Leeds will or won't choose, and it is a choice they get because they did finish top of the table and they got through 2 weeks ago. They've had their feet up while the rest have been playing over this last weekend. Can I begin by introducing you to Gary Hetherington, who is the Chief Executive of the Leeds Rhinos, who is the man charged with giving us the news. First of all, Gary, the process. How have you gone through the process to decide who you're going to pick?
Well, first of all, it has been a fascinating process. At the outset, of course, there were 7 different teams that could be in the playoffs, and all sorts of considerations are given. Do you consider, for example, a team's track record here at Headingley Carnegie? Do you consider the amount of crowd potential it will bring and commercial opportunities? Do you start thinking about the other semi-final, who to send to St Helens? Do you start thinking about the grand final? Who would we want to play in a grand final? Who makes the decision? All a variety of different considerations that we made right at the outset.
Now, I'm sure that you have been through the strategy, you have looked at form, you've probably burned the midnight oil with your coach, Brian McLennan. What about that process? What about who you're going to pick, the strategy of all of that?
Yeah, well, that was, first and foremost, it was decided that of all those considerations, there was only one really, and that is winning on Friday and getting into the grand final. So we made that decision. Clearly, the person who needs to be charged with this decision is the coach, Brian McLennan. He has the ability to consult with his senior players, all his players, his coaching staff, but at the end of the day, there'll only be 2 people that will actually know the decision, and that's Brian and myself. And that decision wouldn't actually be finalised until 1 o'clock today. But part of that strategy was that we would actually take the league table as it finished after round 27. And we would, all things being equal, go with the lowest ranked team. The league table doesn't lie. But there's a variety of other considerations. What about injuries? Possible suspensions? How do the teams come out of their games as well? And so really, we had to wait and see the outcome of this weekend's games. And Brian and myself agreed to meet again this morning at 1 o'clock, and I would be informed of the final decision. We still had 30 minutes to change our mind. Or Brian had 30 minutes to change his mind. So unless he has actually changed his mind, and I'm not getting the signal that he has, then I am able to announce the opponents for Friday night.
OK, you've got people either side of you sweating on this decision. Who will Leeds Rhinos play here at the Headingley Carnegie Stadium, live on Sky Sports on Friday night for the right to get to Old Trafford on October the 10th?
It's been an incredibly tough decision. But, as Eddie said, I am able to confirm that Leeds Rhinos' opponents here at Headingley Carnegie on Friday night will be the Catalan Dragons.
Delightful here in the room, as you can hear from the Leeds Rhinos supporters. We were all speculating, weren't we, over the course of this last weekend, who Leeds' choice would be. We thought they might send Wigan to St Helens. That's exactly what they've done. Christophe Levy is the general manager of the Catalan Dragons, 8th in the table. 3 magnificent weeks, Christophe. You've now got to make it 4 here at the home of the champions on Friday night.
Yes, first of all, thank you very much, Gary. Thanks for that. It's not really a surprise for us to be picked up. It's quite logic. We finish 8th. They finish 1st. They are the champions. They play at home. We play the last 3 weeks away from Perpignan, so you could imagine that we could be tired by all these trips and fights and battles, because it was really 3 hard games. But all what we need is for the players and the coach is motivation in this kind of period, and being picked up like this, playing the champion, to have the choice. I mean, to be on the road to Old Trafford is an extra motivation, and I'm certain our players and our coach will find the words to be motivated on Friday night, and because there is no doubt about we'll come here to win, just like we have done in St Helens, in Wakefield and Huddersfield during the last 3 weeks.
Gary Hetherington might actually have done half of Kevin Walters' job for you, because in effect today he has said, you are the easy beats, you're the team that he's got here at Leeds to get to Old Trafford. You're a team of monsters, though, aren't you?
Well, we're a team of monsters, but it was 3 weeks very, very tough for us. We are very happy, obviously, by the way we managed to win all these games. There's another huge task for us, is to win here. We never won here. We never won in St. Helens, and we did it 3 weeks ago, so who knows? Everything can happen, and that's why we are here, and I can tell you that we'll be very motivated to win on Friday night.
Okay, all the very best for that. We also have with us here today Brian McLennan, who is the head coach of the Leeds Rhinos. And Brian, if you could just come and join me up here on the podium. Popular man, popular man. Well, it came out of Gary's mouth, but you obviously are 100% in agreement with this decision.
Oh, of course, and as Gary said, there was a process we went through, and you know, we give it a lot of consideration right up till 1 o'clock, and you know, it was a very tough call, 50-50 call actually in a way, because both teams have actually beaten us the last time we played. You know, so I guess what swayed it the one way was the fact we looked at going with the lowest ranked team that had come through. You know, and there's also a factor of the travel, which was mentioned. They're doing a great job, Catalan. The last 3 games have been absolutely phenomenal. They're in good form, so we know we've got a real difficult challenge on our hands on Friday night.
Does it worry you the fact that perhaps you've done Kevin Walters'
that
job
we've got from the press conference taking place right now? A no-brainer, John. It was always going to be Catalan, wasn't it?
Well, I thought it was after the Hull Kingston Rovers and Wigan game last night. As soon as Wigan won that, I think that what you've got to do is send them to St. Helens and let them have a tear up and knock each other about a bit and say, right, 1 week later, one of you's got a grand final, and that will be a heck of a game over at Knowsley Road next Saturday.
But is it absolutely straightforward, Yasin? Because Catalan have beaten some, as John was saying actually before we went on air, some big scalps in recent weeks.
They have, and at Huddersfield on Friday night, they were so physical. They've got great players in there, the likes of Mogg and Bird and Greenshield, that can really damage you with ball in hand. But their pack of forwards are immense. They're huge, really aggressive, and make it difficult for any opposition. I think Leeds will have an extremely tough game on Friday night.
OK, well, let's hear from another perspective now. We've heard from Gary Hetherington, but what about the captain, Kevin Sinfield? He's with Tanya. Tanya.
Thanks very much, Harry. Sadly, the round of applause not for us. Kevin, what do you make of the fact you'll be playing Catalan Dragons on Friday?
Yeah, looking forward to it. I think we all know we only had a choice of 2 teams, and both teams are in great form. I think over the last 3 weeks, Catalan have been outstanding on the road, but I knew what strategy Bluey and Gary were going through, and we're here today. So yeah, really looking forward to the game. Both sides who we had the pick from beat us in our last games we've played against them, so we're really looking forward to it.
I suppose Catalan was the obvious choice because of where they finished in the table and because of all of the travelling. But, you know, you heard the talk up there, you know, it's the team talk been done. If you put yourself in Catalan's position and you were the ones that were picked, has that team talk been done for them?
I wouldn't say they were the obvious choice. I think both Wigan and Catalan have been in great form over the last month, and it was going to be difficult no matter who we played. But in terms of motivation, if they can take some extra motivation from us picking them, then so be it. But I think all we're worried about is what our club's going to do and what our team's going to come up with, and we've got a very motivated group of people who want to play in another grand final. So really looking forward to Friday. Be a great clash as well Saturday night. So rugby league's in a great state at the minute.
Are you a fan of this?
I'm not sure. It's a bit different. I think it's different when you're a player. You'd like to know you were playing, and it would have been nice to know a fortnight ago who we were looking at, but they're the cards we've been dealt. Looking forward to Friday. The guys have had a great week in training so far, and we'll continue to prepare tomorrow.
Thank you very much indeed for your time, Kevin. So that's the views of the Leeds Rhinos captain, Kevin Sinfield.
Let's talk, if we can, guys, about the other game, that little one that's taking place between St Helens and Wigan. I mean, some say it's the most ferocious in the game, isn't it?
Well, it's certainly up there with the Hull and Hull KR and Leeds Bradford derbies, and it'll certainly be a packed house. It'll certainly be very intense. St Helens have been a bit scratchy, but I've just got a funny feeling that St Helens have got a really big performance up the sleeve. Now, whether it's against Wigan or whether the man is entering in the final, I don't know. But I just think they've got one big performance to come yet this season.
I think one of the problems you've got about Saints at the moment is that even their fans are saying they're not quite certain which team is going to turn up.
No, but they've had a week off, haven't they? They've had a week to rest the bones, rest the bodies. They'll have freshened up in training, as Leeds have done as well. And I can really see with the experienced players they've got, the likes of Long and Cunningham and Roby and Graham, you know, the experienced players have been there and done it. And if they can hit some sort of form now going into this game, I still think they're a force to be reckoned with, and I still think they will probably make the grand final. I
have to say, John, looking at the demeanour of Brian Noble, he looked a bit disinterested, or at least a little bit angry with the scenario. Am I right in that? Or?
I spoke with Brian last night after the Hull Kingston Rovers game, and I think Brian knew that they were going to St Helens, and I think he'll have been adjusting to that in his head. And Wigan are in great form, but what Wigan have done in the past 2 games against both Castleford and Hull Kingston Rovers, they've had a great 60 minutes. Well, if they're going to go to St Helens and win, they're going to have a great 80 minutes.
I'll tell you something, it's going to be a great match, as is the one here. Let me just sort of bring it all up to date with you. These are the games that will be played. These will play Catalan Dragon at Headingley next Friday at 8 o'clock, and St Helens play Wigan on Saturday at 5:30. As usual, coverage will be available on the BBC's excellent local radio stations, and you'll be able to see all the action from those games on next week's show. That's at 11:30 a.m. next Sunday, again on BBC Two Analog. That's old-fashioned TV, and repeated for the nation on BBC Two on Monday, the 5th of October at 3:30 a.m. Right, we have chance now to go back to Tanya with another guest. Tanya.
Yes, I've got with me the man that had to make the decision, Brian McLennan. Brian, was it an easy decision to make for you?
No, it wasn't. It's, you know, both teams are in really good form, and it was a bit of a 50-50 call, but, you know, we like the idea of just going with the lowest ranked team and thought that's the right way to go. And obviously the other part of it was the travel factor. That, you know, they've had to travel 3 weeks in a row over here. This time it'll be 4, and you know, and that's tough. So it's a credit to them, though, how they've been playing the last 3 games.
Does it also appeal to you for a sort of big emotional, like Saints Wigan's always emotional? It'll take something out of the players just playing in that occasion?
Well, that wasn't really the main reason why we've chosen why we have. I think that's their business. Saints Wigan, you know, what they do, that's their business. We'll just concentrate on ourselves. We know the quality of Catalan. They've got a lot of strike players. You know, the French boys, the Australian boys mixed together. There's real good cohesion between them, and they're playing some really good football. So we know that we're in for a tough match, so we just concentrate on ourselves and let Saints and Wigan take care of that themselves.
It certainly seemed to be a popular choice, Brian. Thanks very much for joining us, and
well
done on making the choice. Harry.
Tanya, thank you very much indeed. I just wanted to go back to that really sad news that we had at the start of the programme. You know, genuine rugby league fans all over will be deeply saddened, John, to hear of the loss of John Holmes. One of the greats here of rugby league, wasn't he? A fantastic lad, a fantastic player.
He was an absolutely sensational player. I mean, if you make 600 plus appearances for your club and 20 appearances for Great Britain, you must be doing something right and be decorated with honours throughout the game. But he was a good guy as well. He was a very skillful player, an absolute joy to watch, but a good guy off the field as well. And it's very sad news.
You know, when I started my career in rugby league and on local radio, we used to have a sort of ritual. We used to come down here on a Tuesday and a Thursday and all the other clubs. And you knew that if I asked John Holmes for an interview, he would do it, yes, and he was just that kind of guy, never said no.
No, I was lucky enough to meet John on a few occasions, and, you know, absolutely tremendous character, you know, larger-than-life character. Really enjoyed meeting him, and, you know, it's such a sad shame, and sad time, isn't it, for rugby league now that he's died.
Just to remind you of the news there, that John Holmes, one of the greats here of Leeds Rugby League Club, has died this weekend at the age of 58. Right, Tanya, back to you. It's all buzz and excitement there about the forthcoming matches this weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, it is indeed, Harry, and I've got the man that's been picked, or his team has anyway, Christoph Levy. Christoph, what's it like to be the picked team?
Yes, for sure. I thank Gary Hetherington for that. No, it's going to be a big challenge for us, as it has been during the last 3 weeks when we had to win 3 games in a row away from France. Well, still, they are the champion. We finish 8th, but don't worry about this. We'll come here on Friday night to beat them and to reach Old Trafford.
You have hit some fantastic form, haven't you, in the last few weeks?
Yeah, it's true. We are in form at the right moment. Maybe different than last year when we finished third and we lost our game in the playoffs. So maybe it's a bit different this year. Our Australians are playing really well. Our French as well. So we are performing during the last months, and we are very happy and very confident for this game.
Now, you hadn't beaten Saints at Saints. You haven't beaten, I think, have you, Rhinos here at Headingley? So a bit of history for you, possibly.
Exactly. Who have said that we will have won in St Helens 3 weeks ago? Well, we did it. We did it as well in Wakefield. We did it in Huddersfield last week. So why not doing it again this week?
So you're not too unhappy about being the picked side?
No, not at all. I'm even proud of it because, Leeds Rhinos is a worldwide club. They are known everywhere in the world. So when you play against them, it's very good for our team. We are very young, only 4 years old. We entered Super League in 2006, so it's a big game for us. We're going to make history, and we hope we'll win.
Christophe, thank you very much indeed for joining us. There is a real buzz around here, Harry, that announcement finally having been made.
Absolutely. Thanks very much indeed, Tanya. Leeds against Catalan, John. Prediction, how's that going to go?
It's going to be a really tough game because the Catalan big name players, Bird and Mogg and Bosk and Greenshield, are all really hitting form at the right time this season. They're big, they're physical, they're tough. They're beating the team 2nd, 3rd and 5th in the league ladder. They're coming to the team 1st in the league ladder. It's going to be very close.
And a quick one, St Helens against Wigan?
I think that's going to be extremely close again. I don't think there's going to be too many points scored in that game. I think defence is going to be very aggressive from the outset. But I'm just going to go for a St Helens win.
OK, that's all we have time for today. Just a quick reminder that you can see more from this weekend's games later on today at 10 to 6 on BBC Two. My thanks to John and Yestin for joining me, and to you at home as well. We'll see you next time, and of course now it's the real business end of the season. The playoff semi-finals. Who's going to get to the grand final in 2 weeks' time? Bye-bye.